Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is, and this is a real hiking trail. It's not no fake background, it's real, and you will see as I make this video. And anyway, I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is and bring enough water with you, because where I am, it's pretty hot out. It's like in the 80s, higher 80s today where I am. And so anyway, if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Sorry, I had bugs biting me somewhere. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up. That is if you want to see a change in the world. And the teenagers, the kids are counting on us, you and me, to, for them to have a better future. And that's what my YouTube channel is all about. It's for them. But we as adults have to do those changes in our life so they can have a better future. So anyway, besides giving my videos a thumbs up, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget to leave a message down below. Say hi, don't be afraid. Starlight does not bite, only when she's eating her food, or I'm going to just leave it at that. So besides doing that, you can also, I got to get my bell out of my pocket. Don't forget the notification bell, that way you do not miss any videos. Plus, don't forget to check out my playlist and share away. Subscribing to my YouTube channel is free, and sharing, you do not have to ask permission. You can do it all on your own. And also, you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here we go. So I know lately things have been kind of going on in Starlight's life, and I know it's not just Starlight's life, because I know a lot is going on with a lot of you out there. So, I was praying about it before I started this video as to what topic to talk today. And I just do want to mention that really quick. I didn't get to check out the videos, but I do know something was going on at the near end of May. And without me even checking those videos out, I know I ended up getting like downloads of information from God, revealing some things that I wasn't aware of. And I just did put a video out yesterday about that spiritual warfare that we're in, and we've been in that forever, So anyway, today I want to reach out to all of you and to let you know, there's some people that I have heard this throughout my life, and I didn't know what to think when I was really young, where I've had, I don't know about you, how many people have told, like how many of you, the show of hands, have heard people say, that's just a coincidence. How many of you heard that in your life? Ooh. Where you're telling somebody something and that's what they say. It's, that's just a coincidence. Just, don't mind any of that. Don't pay no attention to that. Or, things happen, there's things that happen for a reason, in our life. There's no, there's no coincidences out here. Things do happen for a reason. And also, everything that happens was meant to happen. Anything that you've gone through was meant to happen. And I meet lots of people every day. I'm very outward going, and so I have actually crossed some people's paths today, and Starlight was shining her star, Starlight, shining like the star, like God wants us to be. God wants us to shine like a star, and that's where Starlight comes from. And some Christians out there, they have a hard time with that name, Starlight, because they all think Starlight's a hippie out here. Is she a hippie? I don't know. So I'm spreading peace and love, peace. So like I said, though, some Christians have a hard time with that Starlight name, as far as, like do I believe in God or not? Yeah, I'm 100% all on God's side. So, but you got to watch out, because some people have been lied to and brainwashed and controlled all their life, and like all of us have been. Some of you might still be being controlled and not even aware of it. That's the danger, is when you're being controlled but you're not even aware of it. There are forces out there, believe it or not. We are in a spiritual warfare, like I said yesterday, of course I was really focusing on all those young adults that are getting out of high school, and but I don't want to go all on that, because it's not what this topic is about. But everything happens for a reason in life, so when I meet people, like I said this morning, I was shining like a star and sending some positivity out in the world, and making people's day. And we need to do that sometimes, Starlight tries to do it all the time. But today I was really got through a lot of stuff, got a lot of downloads from God, and a lot of things are coming clear, and there's levels to this shit. It really is, so nothing happens by coincidence, and everything is meant to. Oh, that's just the roads. We don't want to go that way. Well, let me see. There might be a path over here. I've never been at this hiking trail, so it's gonna just take me to the road. So backtrack. So anyway, is like I said, everything happens for a reason. Like for instance, today I was ready to head out somewhere, and sometimes we get upset, we get angry, well, I don't know who you are, but some people get more upset than other people, though, I've noticed, where some people, they might get upset, or, because the way the society is that, you got to have it your way right now, and that's not how God works, So it is interesting how my journey here has been going with God, like helping me out and supplying all my needs. And, so there's so many videos that I want to make, so many different topics. But it is very interesting how God will send me different places. God knows exactly where I'm going to go. I'll get in my car, look at my GPS, decide, okay, where am I going to go? And, and then I meet, and I pray in the morning for God to guide me. Okay, not my will, but thine will be done. And then God, guides me even when I look at my GPS to figure out where I'm going to go. And, there's some times that I might not be quite lined up with God on where God wanted me to go. But it will happen in God's timing anyway, because there's times I've gone to, places where I'm like, oh, that didn't work out, so, but eventually I will get lined right up where God wanted me to be anyway. Or sometimes we go through things where if I got there, say if I got to a certain area too early, and I would have missed the person that God wanted me to meet. And this happens to me all the time, where today I went to go get some food because Starlight had to get some food for, to make sure through the weekend, because you can't get a lot of food when you're like living in your car or living on the streets, so you really want to get your food on the weekdays for the weekends. And it's like I am working. It's a lot of work being in my situation. So I have to go get that food. I got to drive around and find those places. But it's very interesting how God guided me to a certain place to go get food, a food pantry. And then, it is something how there was all these people in line, but my intuition, there was a man that was in line getting food, and he was heading out, leaving. And I said, God bless. And I only said that to him. Not that I had a problem with anybody else that was there. I only said it to him. And which is kind of funny, is because he really picked up on my vibes. And as I was heading out of this place to get out of that area to go somewhere else, he ended up finding me at the parking lot. And then he said, hey, I really appreciate what you said, and it was the vibration that he was sensing off of me. It wasn't because of what I said, is what he was saying. He's like, it's not what you said, it's your vibes on what, he knew there was a heart to go with those words. There's people that say God bless, and I hear that a lot. There's sometimes like homeless people will say that, most of them will say God bless, so I do hear that a lot, but for some reason he really picked up on that. And then we ended up talking, and wow, it's like God made that happen. God put that together to meet him at that spot. And you're only at these places for, who knows, depending on the line, maybe 10, 15 minutes, if any. It might not even be that long, depending on the line, like I said, and how smooth things go. So if I went somewhere else, or if I stay too long at the place I was before that, which was more than likely at the gas station because I needed gas, is that I could have missed that person at that food pantry, and so I will be meeting that man later on in a safe place because he had to get going and stuff like that. So it is interesting how God does things. And sometimes, when we're driving down the road, and, this is why I'm not a fan of road rage and all that stuff. And I know a lot of you agree to that, where people are driving unsafe on the roads, so those are the ones that are impatient, and they're always tailgating you, they're passing you, even though you're doing the speed limit. Okay, I'm doing the speed limit. I'm, in the slow lane, but then they could go around, but they want to push you to go faster. So Starlight's like, you know what? I'll go slower. I will. I'd be like, either I will, depending on my mood. Maybe I need to really get somewhere. But, those kind of people is that they got a big lesson to learn. They have to learn patience no matter what. There's no getting out of this. They could push, be forceful, in their moves and all that stuff on the road and be dangerous, I don't get it, the slow lane and the fast lane, because it's like, if I'm already doing the speed limit in the slow lane, why is anybody even passing me into, why would they? Whoopsie. Is that you guys or girls? Because it's not just guys out there that speed. Starlight did that a long time ago. Once I got that speeding ticket, woo, 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 woo. Yeah, Starlight's like, I made myself pay for the full amount, like $200 later, ouch, that hurt. So I did that to discipline myself and to kind of punish myself because, hey, I don't have mommy and daddy telling me what to do. I'm the one in charge of this ship. Not really, God is. I say that, it's my body, but I am giving myself over to God for God to use me whenever and however, whatever situation. And it's amazing how, God has a plan for you in your life. I don't want you to give up. I know a lot of people are struggling. How do I know this? Because I talk to people. I talk to people all the time, every day, different places, different, angles and stuff like that. And I do communicate with people. People easily open up to Starlight. I get people that don't really open up to other people, like this man today. He's like, I don't even really, I kind of stay to myself. I don't really open up to people. And it was kind of weird because, like I said earlier, is I only told him God bless because God knows that he needed something. He's searching for something. There's a lot of people out there in the world that are sleeping. And like I agree to a lot what he said this morning. You just don't know where their mind is or whatever. He said something similar to that. They're out in the clouds somewhere. And, so there are a lot of people out like that out in the world. And it's really sad to see that, where you don't know what the heck is going on. So nothing happens by accidents or coincidence, So there's no coincidence. And it's really awesome that this man, I only got to talk to him maybe about 10 minutes. And already, he can relate to stuff that I'm talking about, like the numbers. And I showed him the list of numbers I have to look up. And we didn't talk very much, like I said. And he's like, wow, because I was getting these numbers, different numbers. Some of the numbers were the same that I had on my paper. Starlight's got to go on these trails. So nothing happens, by accidents or coincidence. It's amazing how God has everything all laid out for us. I always feel like the book is, just like if you wrote a book and it's already wrote, you already got it published, and it's like the way I feel it is everything is already set up and already, it's almost like it's already been set up. Everything has been already laid out, and we are just now like the actors and actresses playing our part in this book. We're just following this, and it is amazing how God has all this set up in this reality. And you got to really be careful out there, because you're going to have people left and right, your family members, they're going to try to, and it's not the people, it's really the devil is using them, or, another dark force out there is using them to, I got a bite. Sorry about that, man. So there's a dark force out there, and they can tap into these people. And, I get people coming to me, and, the more you grow is what I'm learning, is when you start working on yourself and doing that inner work, and then you really take those numbers serious and you start following them, and you get led by God, like in different places in different ways, is just like a video game. It's really something is, you go through the video game, and Starlight doesn't play video games, but she once upon a time did, is that like on a video game, a lot of times you got to collect stuff. Now my son plays RuneScape, and so a lot of times you got to collect stuff so you can get more power, and or tools, because sometimes you need different tools to get through that game, that phase or whatever. And then at the end of the game, you got to defeat some kind of weird thing at the end of the video. And then, it's almost like, okay, you learned your lesson on all these things in life. And then now you're going to, and I get numbers from God that says, you passed the test. Like God will put us through some shit. Starlight did swear, but God will put us through some shit, because we got some things that we got to learn. Boy, do we got some shit to learn. We got lots to learn. So much to learn. It's never going to end on that. God's always got something for us. God's always got something, for us to learn. And so then we can teach others, hopefully, and show them the way. So, people that are struggling, and that's what I'm about with my YouTube channel, is I'm going through this first. At least, there's other people who are going through it too, like Starlight is. And then there's going to be people following behind those people, that are going to experience things that I'm experiencing and learning things that I am learning. And when you go through all these things, like a game, like you got to defeat that creature at the end of the game, then you finish that phase. God's like, oh, okay, because I got a message like a few days ago, says, oh, okay, Starlight, you're doing great. Keep, I actually had a lady, because God uses these people. And a lady, told me, not just one lady, but I've been having more people saying, whatever it is that you're doing, keep going, don't stop, you're doing great. That's a confirmation from God letting me know, you're doing great, Starlight, you're doing good. Just keep on doing what you're doing super. And we need that. Sometimes kids grow up and they don't get that at their house. Do you get that at your house? Sometimes all the parents want to do is they want to only focus on the negatives in their children's, in their minds, and to always tear them down about, look at how bad you are, look at how bad you are. Christians are really good for this, is always pointing fingers at their kids, never really looking at the good that they're doing in the house, never giving them credit when they actually did something right. They're always focused on the negatives, tearing that child apart. And those kids, when they get adults like Starlight or even younger, is that they're going to have a hard time getting through life because they were always put down. They never were lifted up. And there is a balance with that, Some people, they are opposite with their kids. They lift them up so much it gets to their head. Then they end up being prideful, and then they think they're better than everyone. So we need to have that balance, and we could teach that to our kids, but we need to be that example of our own selves, having that balance of, like if you don't have anybody there cheering you on, maybe you're the one. You got to you got to be your own cheerleader, and that's where Starlight really is to be my own cheerleader and let myself know, girl, you got this, You're doing great. You're doing better than you think. Sometimes that's what we need. If we don't have any other people in our life saying, hey, you did a great job today, you could have done something, but you know what? You didn't. You didn't do that. Pat yourself on the back if you're fighting temptations, and they're going to come at you. Sometimes the temptations are going to hit you in a place you didn't expect. Sometimes you might not even have any money. And people might come up to you and, they might not even know that you're struggling with that temptation in your life. And they'd be like, hey, you want to hang out and drink with us? And where the drinking got you last time. And, where, you could cave into that. Or you could be strong, so you could be strong and say, you know what? I know where that got myself last time. I'm going to just say no. And and if you do have a battle with that, it's best to avoid those people, because after a while, you're going to, it's possible that you're going to cave in to that temptation that you have, and that could be anything. So nothing happens by accident or coincidence. So when like this guy that I met earlier today, he gave me his number because I don't give my number out anymore. And so I can protect my number and meet up with him another time in a safe environment, to help him out. So I, even though I don't punch in a clock every day, I am on a full mission right here with God. Like I had a person that I do talk with on the phone here and there, is he says, you got an assignment. Yeah, I got an assignment here, is to do what God has already planned for me to do. God already has it all set up. All I got to do is be obedient to God and do what God has planned for me already, and, you might say, oh, then you're not in control of your life. You know what? I was in control of my life before. Where did it get me? Where did it get me? Where was it going to take me? Not in a good place, so some of you might have a hard time. I'll tell you what, if you're not letting God do the work in your life, you're going to have a battle. You're going to struggle. You might lie to yourself and say, hey, no, I'm doing really good. But deep down inside, you're not doing as good as you want to be. You see other people, and we shouldn't compare ourselves with other people. But this is how most humans are, is that they're always looking at other people and like, oh, look at them. Look how far they got. But you don't know how hard and what kind of stuff they had to go through to get to where they are. It doesn't happen overnight. So if you're thinking it's going to happen overnight, you're wrong. It isn't going to happen overnight. It takes time. Like I told the guy today about something, I said, you got to be patient. And that is so true, is you got to be patient. You're not going to, this is not, people want to take all the quick shortcuts, kind of like cheat their way to get there, Hey, if there's a way I could sneak out of this and do something different, a different way, a shortcut, if I can lie or steal, or rob somebody to get there, A lot of people want money and fame and all that, and that's not really going to bring you the happiness that God actually already has. There's a Starlight's living in their car. I woke up this morning as happy as can be. Now the people in the store, they have no clue that Starlight's they don't even know what Starlight's last few days or wow, freak. I was getting the 11:11. I got it today too. for the last more than 2 weeks now. Woo! I'll tell you. Holy cow. Man, freaking, I have to say, holy shit. What a freaking couple weeks, Bam. But you know what? That's why I woke up so freaking happy this morning. It's like, wow, man, 2 weeks were rough, phone problems, car problems, this problem, that problem. But God got me through all of it, I didn't do that all on my own. I have the archangels helping me. And, so you got to really watch out for the people that you have in your life, because there's some people out there that are not supporting you and loving you. And when we go through those times, going through some battles and stuff like that, is that's when things are going to happen. You're going to have people trying to tell you to go a different direction and have you, hey, yeah, don't make any rash decisions is what I'm talking about here. Starlight was going, like I said, I got some uploads or something, or downloads of information and wisdom because I asked for it. You want to really know what's going on? Ask for wisdom. Bam. Ask God for wisdom. I dare you. Ask God for wisdom. Really, that's the best thing you can ever ask for, is to ask God for wisdom. God already knows what's in your mind. God already knows what you're asking. So if you just trust in God, and God will actually answer those questions, not in a way you ever would think. Not in the way that you'd ever think. No. God is going to reveal those things in His timing. Not He, but in God's timing. So you got to be ready for how God is going to reveal it. And normally when this happens is that you don't see it right away until a little bit after. Then you're like, why did all this stuff happen? What was going on? How come, like I had to go through this? And then, bam, your answer that you've been asking for this how long now? Bam, there's your answer. Don't forget to thank God when you realize, all that time when you've been, reaching out to God and asking God for different, things in your life, or answers to different things that you're struggling with, because it is amazing how God does that. And, but be strong right now, I'll tell you. Don't believe everything that somebody tells you. You got to test it out yourself, even with me. You are the one that's got to decide on your own what it is, what is real, what is right, what is wrong. You're the one, This is something that you gotta take charge of your life. You can't just not do any work, because if you don't do any work, you're gonna sink. You're gonna sink. Your ship will sink if you don't. You gotta not. You can't be out there partying, drinking, smoking, and all that stuff, and thinking that you're gonna get somewhere, because you're only gonna sink with the rest of them. The Bible says how the wide way is the way of destruction. So if you're following all what your friends are doing and what they tell you to do, and you're gonna sink right along with them. And I know it said something before, is that when the devil goes to hell, he brings somebody with him, and that's pretty much how it goes when people follow the wrong type people out there. They don't want to say no to their friends. They don't want to take their own walk like I am right here. Is anybody with Starlight? No, except for God, yes. But, nobody's here walking with me. But, I'm doing this. I had family members, people that I know in my life that didn't want me to do this, and putting fear in my life. And I had to let all that go. I cannot have that in my life. So you got to be strong. You got to really, like I said a few minutes ago, don't do anything rash. Don't jump right into things. Somebody could tell you something, think about it first. Don't even if somebody asks you something, you don't have to answer them right away. I asked a favor from a family member during the week, last week, or this week. And I said, you know what? You don't have to answer me right away. Why don't you think about it? And then I'll get a hold of you later and see what you think. So the same thing for you. If you're going through something and you cannot make up your mind and you don't know which way to go, or somebody asks you for something, and you don't have to practice this, You don't have to give an answer right away unless it's one of those situations, but take a few minutes away from that person. Go to the bathroom if you have to. Say, you know what, I'm going to go in the bathroom. You know, think about really what you're getting yourself into, because there's people out there that are going to try to trip you up and try to bring you in a way that's not where God wants you. And hey, what can I say? It's just going to be more lessons for you to learn. There's going to be something that God's going to show you along that, you know, that choice that you made where, you know, your intuition said one thing, the other part of your body says, no, don't do that, do this, you know. So we are at a war, and it's within ourselves. It's not out there, it's within us, you know, fighting that light and darkness, you know. God gave us all a free will to decide on our own what way we're going to go. So I love you so much. I got some downloads. It's like, wow. You know, I was kind of warned about this stuff. You know, I used to watch a YouTuber, and I don't watch that person anymore, but you know, they did tell me some things, and I you know, it's kind of funny when you watch videos. It's like you can't like forget it, you know, like watch it, you know, that's why it's so important that you be careful of, you know, what you let your eyes see, or your ears hear, because those things, you know, don't go away so quick. I got stuff that pops up when I hear a certain song on the radio. I'm like, and it brings me back. How old was I? 16 years old. I'm like, not that song again, because anytime that particular song comes on, it brings me to a certain memory that was a horrible thing that happened, you know. So it's like, you know, you can't undo shit sometimes, you know. You know, if you did something that you were naughty about, and you know, it might have been a certain place. You know, there might have been a certain smell that, you know, a certain smell could actually make you think of memories, you know, like, well, like pumpkin pie, you know, it brings you the holidays. I'm just thinking of different smells that could bring you, different smells that come out, you know, at different times of the year that could make you think peppermint, you know, Christmas time, you know, who knows, different things. So it's not about just what you see, it's what you hear, smell, all your senses, even touch. You know, you might have touched something, you know, maybe you shouldn't have touched it, you know. And, you know, have you ever burnt your fingers? Ooh, that will, you know, anytime like you do something like that, it's going to bring you back to the other times that you did something like that. Hang on, I'm just looking for some shade. Sterling, I'm like, I need some water. So I do love you. Nothing happens by accident or coincidence. And don't listen to those people that says, you know, those are like part of the matrix, you know, they're trying to get you off your, you know, what you're doing and trying to slip you up and all that stuff. So don't fall for that. I really do. I need some water right now. I do love you. I'm just going to put my bag down. Whew. That's some weight in there. See, I love you. See, sending those good vibes out today. Woo, there you go. Some good love vibes out there to the world. And anyway, whoopsie, is I do love you, and a lot is going on in my life, and I know there's a lot going on in your life. So hang on for the ride, because you're going to go for a ride. But trust in the process. I love you so much. This is Starlight. You could find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman. And you could give this video a thumbs up. That is, do you plan on working on yourself? Do you got kids? Do you got grandkids? Well, if you got kids and grandkids, you know what? If you can't do it for yourself, please do it for the kids. They need us. They really do. They need all of us. They need as many adults out there that's willing to make this change. I love you so much. So you can give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. This place is beautiful. I'm like looking at all these trees. You can push the notification bell, and there's a helicopter going over my head. You can also share my videos with anyone. And don't forget my playlist. And you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. So I love you so much. I really hope you get a lot of help from this, because there's no accident. You're not an accident that you're here either. Don't forget that. So God has you here for a reason. I love you so much. This is Starlight. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.